I would like to start this video by expressing a prayer of gratitude for each and every one of you who takes the time to watch this and leave comments and share it and like it and all that stuff too. But specifically, I want to hone in on the conversation and the comments, because the last several days has been a nonstop flurry of creating and receiving at the same time. I want to say thank you, because as I've been going through this last several days, I've read so many wonderful comments from so many people on the last two video blogs that I've posted here, as well as comments on the Spirit Science channel. And it's been really wonderful to take in so many different perspectives and really integrate them into myself and really become more aware in the process, because that's really what it's all about, right? Is our collective working and talking and sharing and learning together through this amazing journey of life. And it's also given me pause to think, like, there's so many different perspectives that we're all integrating with each other, right, through the field. And as I learn and take in more perspectives from other people, I'm just starting to get deeper and deeper understanding, or continuing to get deeper understanding of my own relationship with different opinions and perspectives and ideas and stuff, but also to get a much clearer idea of where, at the very least, the audience, you guys, are at. And I love that. I love that connection, and we're working towards having even more community and communication with Spirit Science audience, because that was always such a big part of it back in the day, ever since there was forums, and those all shut down a long time ago, and that's its own story for another time. But yeah, just being able to have that conversation, and then to sort of it facilitating thoughtful response, is just, I'm grateful. So thank you very much, everybody. One of the things that gets me looking at the comments, there's a lot of love on one side, and of course there's always a little bit of disharmony on the other side, and sometimes interesting perspectives that it takes me by surprise, and I have to go, how did you get from point A to point B on that one? But it's great to ask that question, because I'm like, it facilitates my learning, like it facilitates building more connections. Like, what do people like? What do people not like? At least when it comes to Spirit Science. And there's two energies that I wanted to respond to based on the comments. Sort of a consistent negative response that I've received, like through Spirit Science or on these videos. One is the relationship to Christianity and or any other religion, and the other is, I want to say it's probably because of money, but it also relates with maybe the video footage that I use sometimes in the videos that makes people feel like I've joined the Illuminati, which we kind of joked about in the Gaia video that we shared. Gaia is another big part of it. I think that also there is a perspective that people just have of like, well, they're corporate and therefore they're Illuminati. So those are the two things that I wanted to speak to and talk about and like express, and those two energies I wanted to just wrap up, and because there's like so many other things that I want to talk about that are so fun. And as I've been taking in the comments, especially the last day, I was just like, I should respond to this. Well, let's do that. So here we are. So there's a few different comments that are kind of mirroring the same energy. One person says, white Jesus disturbs me. And the pictures of Jesus, or the picture of Jesus, at least in my testimonial that I filmed at Rhythmia, isn't helping spread love. And this is very, very interesting, because if someone used the image of Gandhi in a bad way, to do something terrible, like sort of what the church did for a long time with the image of Jesus, would that lessen the message or the energy of Gandhi? I'm asking. I want to hear your thoughts and your responses. So please share what you feel or think in the comments. I'm curious. When I ask myself that, I don't think so. At least not from my perspective. But I am unique in the sense that I am, and I'm not everybody else, and everybody's entitled to believe and feel whatever they like. I can see though that like it could be frustrating if you saw the image of Gandhi and it'd been used bad, and you saw it and then you were like, I mean, I could see it being frustrating, being like, oh man, those guys shouldn't have done that. That's really rude. But I love the man, sort of thing. And I get the whole, there's also like well, it's white Jesus, because Jesus probably, if he even existed at all, he probably most definitely was not white, was sort of the idea or the energy. And there's a lot of debate about that as well. And I'm just like, I'm going to step back on that one, because there's the same conversation going back to the ancient Egyptians, whether they or not were white or black or brown or whatever. And it's like, that's a conversation about race and a conversation about white supremacy. Actually, I read a book called Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race. And that was a great book, actually. Very, very compelling on like just seeing how out of balance things really are. And so like as it relates to the painting of a white Jesus behind me and the thing, I thought personally like it was appropriate that it exists there. That was my room at Rhythmia. I didn't choose that painting in my room, but of course I could have filmed elsewhere and whatnot, sort of thing. I liked being in that room because it was a little cooler, because it was hot in Costa Rica. But I get the discord that you get. I mean, if there was a guy putting out a picture of a white Gandhi, that would probably be very offensive. But because of the long-standing history of Christianity, that's its own, they've portrayed him as the Caucasian for so long that it's just sort of we're so entrenched in the consciousness that honestly, it's kind of like just has become a new base, because I just don't think that humanity as a whole is going to change the image of Jesus to a darker skinned person, but rather that our understanding of Jesus and Christ will change, and then the images will just naturally go away in favor of a glowing body of light or whatever. It's like, because if my theories are correct and what I've learned and my understanding, if it's true, then all of us will essentially become all that Jesus said we would. All the miracles that I do, you do as well, sort of thing. And that's beautiful. And that's something that we all have to learn and grow through. But at the same time, I wanted to speak also to it's like the pictures of Jesus isn't helping spread love, and it's not right for that image to be there, sort of thing, because at the same time of all of that, like all of everything I just said, very relevant, very true, very accurate. I get that. Take all of that out of the picture for just a second. Just forget about it. I mean, don't forget. Just compartment. Put it in a box. Let's hold on to that, and let's just take a look at this other thing for a moment, because this is the yang to that yin, or vice versa. And look at the energy of that picture. That's it. Look at the energy of that picture. It is a man holding a lamb with so much care and so much love. You take out all of the history, you take out all of and you just look at just the bare essence of what that picture is actually describing, just by its nature. And it's beautiful. It is so loving and tender and warm. And that energy is the nature of Christ. So it really doesn't matter. You can draw the exact same painting with a person, of a man or woman of any race or nationality or language or culture or whatever, if it carries that level of love, then it's imbued with the Spirit of Christ. And that's the message that I'm trying to live by, trying to get across, and trying to portray by the work that I do and the words that I speak. And I'm listening at the same time. Like I'm hearing it, I'm seeing it. I'm wondering if people are gonna have the same problem. I got Buddha right here. He's just like, it's a dude meditating. You take out all the history of Buddhism and everything, and you just look at the nature of this picture, and he looks really, first of all, he's got massive ears, so I never really quite got that. But at the same time, you just think about what that could mean, and it's like, he is receiving, he is listening to the sound of the universe that is all around him, and it is forming his Merkaba, and he is radiating out light. He looks kind of serious. You know what? No, that's not true. He looks more just empty and blank, which is kind of amazing at the same time. So there's that, yeah. And I feel like I want to be free to talk about any religion or any subject that I want to, and if you choose not to listen, that's fine, because maybe it's not for you. Easy as that. But for those of you who are listening, I hope you can understand that as I talk about literally anything, that I'm not intending on pushing anything on anybody, but exploring these ideas and these concepts and seeing how they fit together and breaking them down a little bit too, like looking at the raw essence of the thing. I understand the history that we have with a lot of this stuff, but at the same time, if we can just let it go and get to the core of it, it's really about how you live and how you treat the all. And I mean, I wanted to say yourself and you and everything around you, but even that's too disconnected because it's so interconnected. It is the all. It is all you, outside of you, together, in and out, all the layers and dimensions and the ways that our psyche and body, mind, heart, soul, everything just interconnects and weaves through everything. Like, just by making this video, you and I are sharing an intimate, powerful connection of thoughts and feelings that are going back and forth between us. I don't know if people realize just how amazing that it really is. Like, when I put out a video and thousands of people watch it, I am struck without even seeing the comments, although that helps. Without even seeing the comments, I am struck by waves of feeling and thought from around the world of people watching the video and like becoming their own receiver for this information that relays back to me because the video itself makes the bridge. I've been feeling that since 2011, and still to this day, I'm still understanding the magnitude of that connection. It's wild. So, yeah, my intention is love. And I apologize, though I probably don't need to, for the specific offending people by having pictures of Jesus and Buddha behind me. And I'm doing the best that I can with what I have. The next time I get a painting or picture of a black Jesus or a dark-skinned Jesus, I will absolutely love to film a video with him behind me. That would be great. Also, I would love to film a video with a female Christ. That will happen one day. That'd be great. So, the last thing that is the topic for this video that I wanted to address was, now you can't, this was actually, there was one guy in specific, actually I probably have it right here. Yeah, Mike, Cold Snow. Thank you, Mike, you're great. I really appreciated your comment. He also pointed out the white Jesus energy, or just Jesus in general, just was like, don't like it. And he actually said something interesting. He said people are washed and blocked, including me. I think when he says washed, he used that a few times. I think he means brainwashed. Washed and blocked, including me. So I was like, oh, I get it. Like, I'm speaking from this place where I'm just like, just break it down. Like, is fine. You know, let go of the history. Let's acknowledge it. Let's be aware of it, but let's live from a enlightened place rather than a place with attachments to our history, basically. Because if you're stuck on the past, you're just gonna recreate it. You can't solve the problems of the past with the same mentality that solved it. Yeah. A lot of the movement in the 17th century of creating modern science was a movement away from religion, and that created more separation. So there's that. But Mike said, you know, first acknowledging, yeah, it's costing money to do some stuff, you know, for paying to go to Rhythmia, buying the Book of Spirit, and there's profit there. You know, this movement, the spirit science, all this energy, it won't spread if it's not, it won't spread in the way you want it to if it's not free. And I was thinking about that. I was like, I get that. Like, spirit science in the beginning was free. And I was like, this is always intended to be free. And you know what? The YouTube videos still are free. I do sell a book and a tarot deck and some other things too. I get that. And he's like, I understand that, you know, you have to fuel the studio. He didn't say that specifically, but he's like, I understand the position you're in, but at the same time, people don't like it when you ask for money. And now, instantly in my head, the moment I heard that, I heard a bunch of people saying, I don't mind. But this is an interesting thing because there's a lot of people in the world who are struggling financially. And I would say largely, myself included, in many ways, actually. And I think that that's indicative of the connection you can see. That's why I'm getting comments like this, is because I'm going through the same lessons and learning myself. Because we're not rolling in the dough here in the office. We're doing our best, and we're getting by. Barely. And it's been so interesting to try and like find out, how do we get this to a place of thriving without a lot of trouble or drama or like selling out kind of thing? You know, like I was always very torn between wanting to grow really big and wanting to be very simple and singular and just make videos about the universe, you know? I do want to see it get big. I want to see an animation team, like more than myself and Elaine, making these videos, because then we can make bigger and bigger more things. I'd love to animate the Tao Te Ching. I have half of the first episode of the Hermetica done. There's a tarot series. I'd love to animate the Path of the Child, or the Path of the Fool if you're a traditionalist. And none of that can happen by myself. It's too much. They're such big projects. And so we're like trying to sell our decks. We trying to coordinate with other places and people to learn how do businesses work, you know, and we're trying to figure it out. And I think that's where it relates with like this comments like this channel's being corrupted by the Illuminati. I just don't know how people get there. I mean, but I'm looking and I'm listening and I'm learning, and honestly after this video too, I'm certain someone's gonna post something and I'll go, that's it right there. So gratitude to that person in advance, thanks. I mean, if I'm being run by the Illuminati, man, they really don't pay me enough because I'm working my ass off. It's interesting to receive those kind of comments because it's in my field. That's the thing. It's like, it's in my field. It's in the field. And if it's in the field, then it's a part of me. And so while traditionally, and I know there's already people who are going to say something like this, saying something like, just let that go. Don't worry about those people. Don't let it bother you. Don't let it get to you. And it's like, but it exists, and therefore I must integrate it. And I think, I mean, like, that's it. So I'm spending my time thinking about it, I'm spending my time talking about it, and that's that. Like, yeah, we're growing and evolving and changing, because change is the constant. And I think people aren't used to change with spirit science and with just in general. People like when something really affects them and moves them, like the original spirit science, they want that to stay the same. I get that. I mean, that's partially why I made the episode 1 remaster, the deluxe edition, was it's taking all of the magic of the original and making something even better with it. And I think it's better personally. Like, I mean, I love the original episode. That was that first, I just poured my heart into it, you know? But it was rushed, it was messy, I just slapped that thing together like I didn't care. I did care. I just got a phone call, and so I took it, and now I'm back. So I have to wrap this up because I have a guest coming over here in a moment. But, you know, I'm looking at all my points here, you know, the Jesus and the channel's corrupted, Illuminati and money and all this stuff. I'm like, I get it. At the end of the day, I want everybody to know that the bottom line is I am, and we are, actively working on resolving all of the questions and concerns because it's so important to me that we do this the right way. And we're trying different things. Like, none of us have done this before, for the record. Like, we've never ran a studio, we've never worked in an office, you know? Well, Aaron has worked in an office, but he's never been an administrator. And I've definitely never been a boss. I mean, that's not even a title that I like going by. I don't go by president of Spirit Studios. I go by, I'm Jordan. Even the way that the videos are structured, you know, like adding an intro and an outro, I really want to just refine the process to something that people can get behind, to make it like the most beautiful, wonderful, amazing thing ever. Here's a very interesting thing. Spirit Science videos, because of their naming convention, don't get as many views on YouTube as something named with a dramatic clickbait title. So if I'm trying to get the message out, should I just change all the Spirit Science episodes to, instead of like episode 1 thoughts, just call it "This video will blow your mind, telepathy," or something like that, you know? Like, I don't think so. But maybe. So like, there's so many things that you could try, that we could try, and we're just trying to figure it out. So with that, I'm gonna bring this video to an end. I just wanna say thank you again to everybody for taking the time to watch this and comment and really build this mental connection that we have. I read all the comments and I really appreciate every single one, so thank you very much. And with that, I'm gonna go and have yourself a beautiful, beautiful day, night, month, year, life. See you next time.